Whoa. Okay, let's go, guys. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where the heck you guys are in the world. We got Sheena Lee in the house. Let's fucking go. For context, Sheena is one of my best friends from our small hometown. We go way back.
Way back.
We go way back. It's crazy. Sheena, I love your journey of how where you've gone through in life. You're a chiropractor by trade, but you're also a business owner. You're slaying the day every day, helping scale your mom's business as well. But then you're also like a content creator, which I love all your content too. How about I pass off to you to do a quick intro to yourself, like what you do and so on, and then we'll go from there.
I'm Sheena. Thanks for having me on here. Like Idris said, obviously you're one of my best friends, and I'm so honored to be here in the first place. I'm really excited to have this chat with you.
Let's
A
go.
little bit about me: I am a chiropractor by profession, obviously, but I also help the family business in Malaysia. It's called Atia Spa. It's basically a spa. Our motto is affordable luxury, but we have branches in Kuching, in KK, and in Cebu, so a couple different cities. In Perth here, I own Cove Chiropractic, which I started in last year, end of March. Um, so it's almost been a year now, which is cool. And in terms of content, I probably, I guess I started making content when I first started working out of uni maybe 4 years ago, because no one tells you that as a chiropractor, you have to sell yourself and get
Mm,
yourself
mm,
known. So
mm,
it started off sort of like that. I did a little bit here and there, but nothing was ever serious. I only really seriously started making content, I would say, last year
mhm,
when
mhm,
I had a little bit, I felt like I had more creative freedom in my life. I felt a
mm,
little bit more inspired as well,
mm,
um,
mm.
to do stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is like a strong and great introduction, Sheena. So that is great. I just want to get kick things off. Like, how did you get to where you are today? How did being a chiropractor found you?
Okay. Finishing high school, I was kind of unsure what I really wanted to do. Obviously, Asian parents, I
Mm,
was academically good, right? And so
mm,
the
mm. You're
expectation
so
was
good.
that I was okay. I was like,
Better
I did
than
well
me.
in my exams.
Yeah, yeah,
But basically, the expectation was that I would be a professional, go to
yeah.
university
Yeah.
somewhere, be a professional. Um, and that was the expectation. But growing up, I had always known that I wanted to be in business, just kind of like
Mm,
side note, especially watching my mom in business.
mm,
I'd always wanted that, but I wasn't going to do a business degree because they wanted me to kind of pick a profession. So I initially chose law out of the
mm,
fact that law in the UK at the time was only 3 years. And I
mm,
was like,
mm,
okay, it's a short degree. And if I
mm,
do law, I can graduate and then do whatever I want. That was kind of the mindset that I had going into it. But I just deep down, I knew I wouldn't have enjoyed it. That was just, right, it's just who I am. I probably would have
mm,
hated going through that and even being in the industry.
mm, mm,
At the same time, I was gymming a lot. So I had
mm,
started going to the gym quite a lot in the last couple
mm,
years of high school. And
mm.
at some point, kind of went into strength sports. So, like, something like powerlifting at the time. I started off quite like just kind of doing my own thing, had a coach, but then I was a little bit, I was young and dumb and then hurt
Yeah.
myself. Injured my back, and out of fear I didn't want to go to see a doctor or get x-rays because I was afraid my mom would find out and she's like, I told you so. So I decided to kind of find other ways to fix this, and I was like, maybe I'll try a chiropractor. I didn't even know what chiros do
Mm,
or what it was. I was like,
yeah.
I'm desperate. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went
yeah.
to see a chiro, and essentially I got better. I had tried other
Mm,
things before that,
mm,
but nothing really worked.
mm,
And I saw Kyra,
mm,
I got better. And I had
mm,
always been interested in like human bio, the body. I
mm,
love kind of like working with athletes, active people. I love face to face type jobs. And so I was thinking about it and was like, well, this seems like a cool avenue to go into because I love the fact that it was healthcare without medication or surgery. So I like on a whim talked to my mom.
Mm.
applied for the course, got in the next day, and the rest is history. A couple months later, I moved to Perth. I was
Yeah.
18 at the time,
Yeah.
and 5 years after that, I graduated as a chiro.
I love that. Some people don't know, but you, when you started powerlifting, you competed and you won as well. In that woman, it was it under 19 women's meet or something? Or
Nah,
was
so it
it?
was
Oh,
quite a small meet because powerlifting and coaching at the time was very new. Like very
yeah, yeah.
few of us coaching were doing powerlifting. So it was like a small local meet that this CrossFit gym was sort of like
Mm-hmm.
hosting, and
Mm.
decided to join it. And yeah, I won that one, but that was
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah.
I don't think the competition was that crazy. I got lucky as well.
No, 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 no. You train hard, bro. I saw clips of you. I was like, yeah, shit. I could have with my busted back. So, and also, what's funny is that like, had you gone to study law in the UK, we would have been in the same uni. That is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, that's so crazy. I was actually applied to your uni and accepted.
Yeah,
So that's quite funny. It would have been very different life.
strong. I know, I know. I don't think. Yeah, like I said to you before, I don't think you would have enjoyed my uni. I think so. So I'm glad. I'm glad Perth found you.
Yeah, but I
But
would have enjoyed the fact that you were there. So
yeah, true, true. True. Like I wouldn't have had to go through all the stress of like finding a housemate because I would be like, oh, I know one already. So, um,
that would have been
man,
fun.
in another lifetime, right? So
In another
whatever.
life.
Um, I want to hone down on like specifically with your early days as a chiropractor. How did that work out for you? And then how did eventually you decided to just start your own business running Cove?
I think part of me always knew that I wanted to start something of my own. That was
Mm,
always a part of the dream. So that was always in the back of my mind. I just didn't know what timelines would look like. I started off working for a chiro. I have mad respect for my first boss, actually, and
mm,
learned a lot about chiropractic and a lot about business at the same time because I obviously witnessed my mom in business, but that was business in Malaysia and in a very different sector.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and this was different again because obviously different countries,
Mm,
cultures, all
mm,
that. My first job was, I would say, it was a little bit of a shock to the system because you don't go through chiropractic school with your lecturers and teachers preparing you for the real world. They
mm,
teach
mm,
you to be safe and effective practitioners, and that's about it,
mm,
right?
mm,
And they don't really prepare you for the fact that there are so many chiropractors here and that you're graduating as a new grad. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody really, I guess, trusts your ability to provide care as well. And it's kind of like you got to learn all these new skills of communication, content creation,
mm,
selling
mm,
yourself,
mm,
marketing yourself to make a
mm,
living. So
mm,
I was making very, very, very little at the start for quite a long time
mm,
before gaining some level of like confidence in myself,
mm,
which is
mm, mm,
probably the biggest thing,
mm,
and some level of traction, momentum, and also then trust that the community had towards me. So I would say it was pretty tough graduating and not knowing how to do any of that and feeling like I was kind of chucked into the deep end. But obviously, I had mentors and people around me that really helped.
mm,
Fast forward a year and a half later, I just kind of felt a little bit stuck. And I didn't, I guess internally, I knew that something had to shift and change. I
yeah,
didn't quite know what.
yeah,
At the same time, my family business back home, so Atia, was expanding and needed quite a bit of help in areas that I could help in. And so, out of a conversation with my mom, the conversation kind of became, why don't you come back for 6 months and help with that stuff? So, come back to coaching for 6 months, help with that stuff, and then you decide kind of where you want to go from there. Um, so, I went home for 6 months, which was really crazy. It's like the first time I've been living at home in like 6, 7 years or something
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
like that, which is like super kind of shocking to the system a little bit,
yeah, yeah.
but I had a lot of fun. It was
You
stressful,
made the
but I
most of
learned
out
a
of it.
lot. Yeah,
Mm,
made the
mm,
most of it. Really enjoyed living at home for that period, and I think found like a new drive in me.
that's good.
Yeah, I think I found like a new sense of like drive and
Mm,
purpose, especially like
mm,
within my career and in my
mm,
abilities as well. Uh,
mm, mm,
Gave me a big kind of like confidence boost being just like around that high, fast-paced environment. And if you know my
mm.
mom, which you do, she is like very much boss
Yeah.
lady, and so
Yeah,
also
yeah,
her around kind of
yeah.
drove me forward a little bit. And then out of that, at the end of that, there was pretty much a huge kind of like relationship breakdown. I haven't really spoken about this to anyone in public or anything like that, but a huge relationship breakdown at the end of that. And like it kind of just felt like life fell apart. I was like, don't know what to do, don't know, I have
Mhm.
no clue. At the end of that, I actually was like, you know what? I don't know what to do. I feel stuck. So I booked a very impromptu solo trip to Europe.
Yeah.
I lived with you for a couple days.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
That trip was probably pretty life changing for me in a way that I was kind of forced to be by myself and reckon with a lot of the things that I would say maybe the past 8 years was that I maybe just kind of shoved down.
Mm,
I
mm,
learned a lot of things about myself. A lot of like anxieties kind of rose to the top. Insecurities
mm,
came up as well, and just
mm,
this sensation of like, oh my gosh, is my life over? That's that
mm,
feeling.
mm.
While I was there, I kind of just had this moment of, well, I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose, right? And by then, I was pretty confident in my ability as a chiropractor, as a leader, as a business person, just because of the background of everything that I do. And while I was there, literally in the hostel like reception area, I like registered my business name, set up my like customer booking system.
Did it there.
Yeah, reached out to my friends who did like branding, marketing, literally in Europe,
Yeah.
and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Found a
Was this in
room,
Italy?
huh?
Did you do it in Italy?
Yeah, I did. I was in Italy when I did
Oh,
this.
oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah. So long story short, I was like, yep. And then I kind of like messaged a bunch of people that I knew were not getting care anymore. And I was like, hey,
Mm,
I know you're not getting care at the moment. I am going to be opening up. So here's my booking system. If you want to come in and see me, come in and see me. Yeah, got back to Perth and then it was a go. Pretty much the next
yeah.
week after I got back, I started.
Yeah. Wow. No, that's awesome. I love that. I love that you went through sort of like a, would you say it's like a quarter life crisis? I don't even know. Just like
Yeah,
existential sort of like moment, and you
100%.
just
It was a quarter life crisis, existential crisis
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
moment.
it's amazing that like you, I think you took the step to like internalize and face everything, and then you found something out of it where you were like, okay, I'm true to my core and I know that there's a path that I can take, and you took action on it.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, look where you are now. I mean, this is doing good, right? So that's awesome. There's a few things I wanted to pick from that, from your time growing up with your mom, looking at how she navigated her business career, setting up Atia, you helping out as well. Like, how much of that informed the way you run your own business as well?
Would say that we started and run businesses in very different eras and then
Mm,
also extremely different cultures. She's obviously extremely successful, has had multiple businesses, a huge team that she looks after as well. I would say that the biggest thing that I learned from my mom
mm,
is probably just like this never ending like tenacity and
yeah,
drive. That
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
yeah.
big thing that I feel like I sort of inherited and learned off of her. And obviously, me and my mom had a very kind of rocky relationship. None of us are perfect, right? No
Mm,
parent
mm,
is perfect either.
mm.
And so a lot of watching her as well was like, yes, learning what I want. Oh, say hi to my dog, everyone.
You know that?
Learning what I did love and respect, but also kind of learning then what would not work for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
also a good thing, kind of looking at
Yeah.
her business model and her life and going, this works great for her, but also
Mm,
having the wisdom to go, I would need to do that differently. And then, yeah, just her. And another huge thing is she is an extremely quick decision maker.
mm, mm, mm.
She's an extremely quick decision maker. If she wants to do something, start something, like
Yeah,
time is of the essence, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think we've heard so many times like successful business owners, even like all these mentors online, they say that like decision making quickly is a huge skill.
huge
The
thing.
more decisions you make, the more failures you have, and the more
Yeah,
failures you have, the quicker
yeah,
you learn.
yeah.
So that is another thing that I've learned from her. And because she makes decisions so quickly, she also has a very high um, tolerance to take risk.
Really? Ah, okay, I
Yeah.
see.
So she takes risk and quickly as well. So witnessing that, I didn't realize, but growing up now, I do that too. And then sometimes people are
Mm,
like, isn't that a bit like risky? Isn't that a bit quick?
mm,
But I
mm,
realized that I learned that off of her. And in most times that I've made decisions like that, it has only done me good. Either I succeed
mm.
in it or I learn really valuable lessons from it.
I think the concept of being a high agency individual is what sets people who end up winning in life compared to those who just end up just staying where they are. I feel like for me, I cannot live my life on the other end. I have to just be like take action because like you said, like if once you make a decision on something, the feedback loop is quicker. Then you know how to like iterate and just go from there. Um,
Absolutely.
you also mentioned during your course you were figuring out how to set up business, like content and all that. I don't really see chiropractor content much, and I think that's what also makes you stand out as well. Like, do
Mm.
you think there is a lack of, I don't know, like just lack of that awareness, would you say?
Um, I really think it depends on like what algorithm you land on, right?
Okay,
I
interesting.
guess maybe because I'm a chiropractor, the algorithm almost pushes that type of content to me. So it's like I see all these like cracking videos a lot or like chiropractic content a lot, right?
Mm,
Most of the times when you see chiropractic content, it's the reason why it doesn't land on anyone's like feed really, and this is just me being honest, is that it's boring. That's the
mm,
truth.
mm,
Like some
mm.
chiropractors go down the route of like educating people, like, oh, this is why
Mm.
you get this is, and some do it really well and they blow up.
Yeah, yeah,
Most don't do it well,
true.
and then it's a waste of time,
Yeah,
energy, don't get
yeah.
any views, don't get any like leads, nothing from it, right? And that is what we see very often. So it's like out
Mm,
of the 100 chiropractors out there making content, like one guy is extremely good at making those like educational type stuff and blows up, and the rest, it just falls flat.
mm, mm,
So I
mm,
started off my career with making chiropractic content, and it never
mm,
really went anywhere, right?
mm,
Like it wasn't that my content wasn't really of value, but I don't know, I just personally, for me, I couldn't really break out in that, and I just didn't feel any creative flair in that either. I was like, people
mm.
are not on their phones wanting this information. That's just
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like I think about myself, and if I saw this, I would just
yeah,
swipe.
yeah.
So in that way, I actually do think there's a lot of chiropractic content out there. I just don't think
See,
it's very good or very interesting
yeah,
or very engaging.
yeah,
So that kind of led to where I was like, that's not working. I am just gonna do and say whatever I want.
yeah, yeah,
There was
yeah,
a part of me back then that was just like, oh, it's not professional, right? If
yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah.
like, this is who I'm trying to, like, what I'm trying to promote, but then I'm
Correct.
making content about my life or
Mm,
yapping about who knows what. But then at some point, I was like, this is the internet. It's not that serious and nobody cares. People want to know who you are and they care more about you as a character and a person, I think, before they care about what you do. So for people to care about what you do, they have to care about who you are, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah,
So then one day, and I had been making content here and there, and it was just
yeah,
like
yeah,
it was okay, but it was like not amazing.
yeah,
One
yeah,
day, I was in Guangzhou with my mom for a business trip, and as I was there, I was just looking at her, and I was like, "Man, people." People would not believe me if I told them about how my mom was, but they weren't there to see it. They think I'm exaggerating, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I just like had this idea. I was like, what if I made a video about her just for
Mm,
fun? So I
mm,
just like shot random clips of her through the trip. Literally, she didn't know. She didn't like, it was just her being her. And I kind of like at the airport on the way home clipped it all together, and I was like,
uh,
this is kind of funny.
yeah,
And I had a little script in mind. So I was in the airport waiting. I like put it all together in CapCut, literally just like zero effort, like just put it together and then
yeah,
recorded that voiceover
yeah.
without a proper script. I just kind of had like what I had in mind, like recorded it in the waiting lounge of the airport and edited it, and I posted it as I was getting on the plane. And I was like, "Yeah, this is funny. People will find it hilarious for like a second." Anyway, I post it. I get off the plane, and this thing like blows up.
Mm, mm,
Like it blows up. Like random people on TikTok, Instagram sharing it, and the views just go like insane. And I was
yeah.
like, what in the world? Like here I am making this chiropractic content.
Content.
People
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
give
yeah.
a damn. And I'm like, I just put this funny video together, put like a bit of creative flair in there, and I enjoy that. And suddenly it blows off. So that was the kickstarting point.
Yeah. And then birth the what was it? Here's My Mom series or something.
Yeah, it's
Like,
the Meet
you
My
know,
Mom series. So I
Meet My
go
Mom.
on to
Yeah.
make like 4 videos of Meet My Mom.
Mm,
And those videos got like 100,000
loads.
overviews, and I was
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
"World." I went from 600 followers to like 3,000 followers within
I
like the
remember
2 months or something like that. Like it
that
was
was
crazy.
crazy.
It
Yeah.
was crazy, and people were loving it. They're like, more, more. So then Meet My Mom became Meet the Spa because they were like, what does
Yeah,
she do? So then that
yeah,
became Meet the Spa, and then that
yeah.
blew up as well. It like did
Mm,
really well for the spa, and then people were then excited about us expanding. They're like, when are you coming to KL? And then I
yeah, yeah.
posted a TikTok about the KL spa, and that hit like 1 million views. It's like, what? Yeah, so those are kind of just like those moments, and then I did a meet me one. Yeah, so that's how it began.
I love that. I think you broke down the essence of content and like how consumers react really well. It's sort of like people want to engage to like who the person is. So you basically took that and then you sort of like to redirect it to like, oh, by the way, here's about my life. Right, here's Meet My Mom, role
Yeah,
model Miranda Priestley, Asian Miranda Priestley, and then and then
who's
after
in
that,
the brand
eventually,
product?
yeah, 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 yeah. And then you double down on the spa. Uh, I am amazed by how quick you're able to like move and pivot as well. Like, and I think that comes back to that quick decision making that you mentioned. But what I'm also interested in is, have you always been creative?
I would say so.
That's
I mean,
good.
you've known me a long time, like since I
Yeah,
was in primary school.
yeah,
I think I we were in like what drama club together.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there was always a part of me that like had this creative side. I really enjoyed art. My dad was an interior designer. I loved
Mm,
art. I loved singing. I loved
mm,
drama. It was so embarrassing, but it was fun.
mm, mm.
I sang kind of like all throughout. My sister also did with me. She's actually pursuing singing now. So like arts and creativity had always been a part of life that I really enjoy. Um, and I even thought about pursuing those things, but again, I was like, okay, oldest child, Asian family, they're like, no, that's a waste of your time. So then I never went down that route.
And just to build on that, where in the process of content creation would you say is your first love? Is it the concepting, the filming, the editing, or yeah, where would you say comes first?
I hate editing.
Yeah,
So let's just take that out of the equation.
yeah, yeah.
I would say the concept bit.
Mm,
Like I love thinking of new ideas and like coming up with
mm,
like storylines. Um,
mm, mm.
I think that is the funnest bit for me. The filming and the editing is actually the more tedious part in my opinion because I don't have any background in that. You know,
Mm,
I don't have any like film background, camera,
mm,
photography, and no skills there. I have no skills in editing either. I'm actually really bad with like technology, so that was a
mm.
tough one to learn.
Yeah.
So I think the concept and storytelling bit is probably my favorite.
And I think that really resonates strongly in your content as well. So, um, by the way, guys, I'm gonna put Sheena's links anyway, so you guys can check her out if you guys haven't already. But yeah, then you guys will know what I mean. I
Guys, I'm a very small creator.
Don't worry, don't worry. We're gonna get there. But do you know that in the tech world they are hiring for chief storytellers now?
Wow, I did not know that.
They're literally like I think around towards the end of December, like all these like top startups, like they're basically hiring for chief storytellers because like in the business world they're selling softwares and they want like someone who can actually lead that marketing team. It's not even part of marketing. It's like they're bucketed under storytelling and like the salary is like 240K dollars a year. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So like I definitely think especially when we're getting to this age of like how AI just make things easier or maybe harder for people. I think people are craving that authentic human touch, and
Yeah,
that's just something that you can't. That's just so innate in us. So yeah, storytelling I think is really important. And
yeah, for
and I
sure.
think for me, like for my content, I think I need to like figure out a better way for storytelling. But that's gonna be something I'm gonna work on for my upcoming song coming up soon. So you guys
Oh,
heard it
that's
here first.
exciting.
um, but when you were starting out taking content seriously, how did you balance your time? Like, working and then also allocating time to create content as well.
I didn't balance. That's the truth. Like when I first started out, I was just kind of like, whoa, this thing just kind of took a life of its own and I kind of need to find a way to keep it going. And like I
Mm,
said, like I was just going through a really tough time in life at that point in
mm,
time.
mm,
So I think maybe that initial kick and like consistency probably just came out of a place of I needed an outlet of sorts as well. Like
mm,
I needed
mm,
to almost like fix my mind on it and focus on something because it
mm,
was such a tough time.
mm,
And
mm,
content was because of the way I was doing it, I guess it was a way to like express myself in a certain way, not fully, but
mm,
still a part of me and like do something that brought me some level of joy when everything
mm,
else was falling apart.
mm, mm,
So I didn't really balance. I kind of just like threw myself into it and was like, I'm gonna make this work because out of that as well, like life got crazy, work got hectic, and I stopped. Right, so I
mm,
stopped
mm,
being consistent for a very very long time, and then obviously that momentum dropped. Naturally, it would. Right, like you
mm,
can't just write off those few viral videos and expect followers to keep coming. Um, but literally just in this last week, I've kind of committed to then going, okay, I'm going to pick it up again. Like it would be a huge waste. And also just, I think life has finally gone to a place where it's really, really good.
mm.
Um,
That's good.
and finding the time and energy to do content
Mm,
is a lot easier. But I
mm,
think I am now in the mindset of I'm not going to let that kind of like rule my life.
mm, mm,
I'm going to be as consistent as I can, but it is just a part of my life.
mm,
Um,
mm,
and if
mm,
I kind of work on the rest of me, content will
mm,
naturally flow because I'm
mm,
usually the most creative when I am happy and healthy and doing things that I love, right? Because the ideas flow a lot easier. So then out of that birth something a little bit more natural and easy to do.
I love that you decided to, hey, like this is going good, but at the same time, there's bigger things that I need to focus on. Let's take a break.
Mm,
I think maybe some people don't really do that. And I think there was points in my life where like I just want to go all in on three different things. And then I end up burning out. And it's just not like the way anyone should live, I think.
yeah.
So I'm glad that like you make the conscious intentional decision to take a step back and then evaluate everything and then just go and then once you feel completely ready with yourself, then you're like gonna take it back step by step. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that's really healthy. When when you were like posting content more regularly back then, like what was the cadence like for you? Because you know how you see a lot of like on social media, it's always like post, I don't know, 3 times a day or 3 times a week or whatever, and then that's how you can guarantee like grow from 0 to 30K and all that. Like how was that like for you, going from 600 to 3K?
I tried to just be consistent, so I just tried to keep it simple and do once a day. Like I guess it's like important to remember as well. Like content was like like it wasn't my main thing. Like my goal wasn't to be a full time content creator, for example.
Mm, mm, mm.
It was to use content to kind of supplement my life and what I was
Yeah.
already doing. So my goal was once a day.
Mm,
And that was pretty much the case for a while. And it does work. It's true. Consistency does work. And that's when I gained a lot of my followers. And I think also when it really started to blow up, like my most viewed video on Instagram is like 300 plus K or something.
mm.
And that was literally me and my phone, like this, like
That was in the
yapping,
car, right?
yeah, yapping into my phone in the
Yeah,
car
yeah, yeah.
about being multilingual because like
Yes.
I just had a conversation with someone about it. I thought it was funny and I was like,
Yeah.
I have no content to post today. I'm so tired. I have like zero effort. I'm just gonna like yap to the camera and post it and not care about what people think. Because low-key, I
Yeah.
thought it was a bit cringe and embarrassing, but I was like, ah, whatever. So I did that, and then that just like blew up because it was so
Mm,
relatable. Then
yeah.
I did a couple more like multilingual videos, like being an Asian abroad type videos, like, and
Mm,
just like really captured the attention of like that group of people. So then that was like after the meet my mom stuff, those were the videos that kind of then popped off. So I would say the more you are not embarrassed and
mm,
the more
mm.
you just kind of talk about who you are and what, and are the more authentic you are, basically, is the better you do.
I think that's basically it, isn't it? I when I kind of like in when I kind of look through your content, I kind of feel like your pillars are chiropractor, your own self, like multilingual, and then your mom stuff as well. So
Yeah.
I kind of feel like those are your 3 pillars, and then you just like double down on that. Did I just
Yeah.
reveal your secrets? Or
Yeah. And honestly, the chiropractic stuff is because like that's my job, right? That's what I
exactly.
do like a lot of the
Mm,
times. And so
mm,
like naturally that's a big part of my life. And so I put chiropractic content on there because it is what literally fills my time most of the
mm,
time.
mm,
And now I guess people have gotten to, I'm obviously very small on content creation scale.
mm, mm.
But obviously people have now like started to then be invested in who I am, that when
Yes.
I post what I do, people actually engage with it a lot more. I'm not just some random chiropractor who's posting a cracking video.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. It's not just that chiropractor; it's actually Sheena Lee, Doctor
Yeah,
Sheena Lee.
yeah. So they know who I am, they know what
Yeah.
I'm about, like they
Mm,
know what like my life is, and then now they're like, oh, this is also what she does. And
mm,
funny enough, I actually found that by doing that, like even when I was not really posting chiropractic videos, but the fact that chiropractor is in my Instagram handle, right?
yes. Yeah.
People were booking in because they, I guess, resonated with who I was.
Mm,
They probably didn't even know if I was a good chiro, right? But they were like,
yeah.
oh, I kind
Yeah.
of girl and I kind of vibe with her, so I'm gonna go
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. In that driving video, that was in Malaysia. I guess when that blew up, were a lot of the engagement audiences Malaysians, would you say? Or was it like a varied mix?
Very mixed. It was like everyone from like all over the world. It
Mm.
was crazy. And like, what's really funny? Like, Ilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's wife,
Okay, yeah.
she followed me.
That's dope.
From that video, she followed me and like I was like, is this a joke? And we actually like
Yeah.
DM'd back and forth after that as well. Like it was really funny. I was like,
Wow.
what? And she was on Dancing with the Stars last season.
What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I'm like, no, it wasn't just Malaysians. It was literally just random and it just blew up. I just don't even know.
Mm. Dude, that's crazy. Like I don't think people grasp how, I wouldn't say it's easy. I would say the simple notion of the fact that if you actually put yourself out there and be consistent with it and share something that's relatable by being high agency, take notes, guys, because this is literally like the four things, I think, then like things can happen.
Yeah,
So that's awesome. That's really awesome.
absolutely. I mean, I didn't believe it when I
Mm,
started. I was just
mm,
kind of like, I don't have money for paid marketing and I
mm,
need to make
mm.
this work somehow. So I'm just gonna
Yeah.
throw Hail Marys out there and like whatever sticks, sticks, you know?
Thanks. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's just this sense of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. Ah, I love that. I really love that. You know, my favorite content of yours is the you speaking Cantonese. Because like yeah, like what was it like few seconds in and you're like, how do you say this? And I was like, that's, that was so funny.
Yeah. Well, that's just kind of like, I guess that was like me also learning to not care about being a bit embarrassed.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, but to be fair, like I think you've always been the person who's like, yes, like you're driven, you're super smart, but you know how to have fun as well. And I think that also kind of like shines through in your content.
Yeah. That's, I do like
I
to
love
have
that.
fun.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Your drive has you've always been someone who's like super driven, even since I known you in primary school. I guess I'm interested in has that changed or has that sort of morphed differently when you moved out from our small town Kuching to Perth in any capacity?
Okay, let's just like kind of starting from like me as a kid. I would say my drive and motivation to kind of like do things and whatever
Succeed.
probably like you said was influenced by my mom. She was very much
Mm,
like that, very like larger than life type personality, and I grew up watching that, and so naturally I kind of took that on. But I think earlier days my drive and motivation to do well and achieve things definitely actually just came from a deep trauma of like you're not good enough,
mm,
like, and
okay.
you're only praised when you achieve things, and that was where I really derived my value from.
Mm,
So I was like constantly seeking for approval and like you did well, you know, like someone else's validation of you. It comes from like family trauma, parents being separated, like my dad, like all sorts of things, right? So early days that was definitely it. um and then if anything, moving away from Kuching, I actually feel like my motivation and drive kind of dropped.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it was because like we were like in this environment of like, oh, we need to get out of this town and go to
Yeah.
university and do well. Because
Mm,
like
mm,
you know how that we had that mindset like, hey, we need to get out of here and like
yeah.
go to uni and do well. So I think
Yes.
a lot of it was that. And then when I finally got into uni, I was like, oh, I'm chill.
Yeah.
The thing about Perth is that people are very complacent. They're like super apathetic and just like, yeah, like we just cruise through life. So I never quite became like that, but I definitely did lose a big part of me in
Mm,
like
mm,
the sense of like motivation and drive. But in saying that, in those years, I feel like the part of me that did all these things for like validation and all that were also in a way healed because of
mm,
people in my life, God, church, like a bunch of stuff. So that part of my life kind of healed a little bit. But then I
mm,
guess the other side of me kind of let things go.
mm,
So then came a point eventually that where I was like, I just felt like deeply unfulfilled in that aspect because that drive had always been within me and I wasn't doing anything about it or pursuing, or I didn't feel like I was really stepping into like potential of that. I was just comfortable in my life. That's where that like dissonance started to happen. I was like, technically life is good, right? Like I'm like on a good trajectory, but then I'm not this like I'm not chasing the things or the dreams that I once had, you know? So then
mm,
there's like that
mm,
discomfort in myself of like you, you're not really doing the thing that you should be doing.
mm,
So then
mm.
at that point, and then obviously multiple events happening in my life that were pretty traumatic, it then kind of like lit that fire in me again.
And it's now like coming from a place of you yourself want to do it. It's not like you wanting to prove yourself to like anyone or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. It's like
that's strong.
I feel this sense of freedom of like I don't care what people think about my career or my
Mm,
path.
mm,
Like I know what almost like what was God given inside of me to achieve. And
mm,
I want to do the best of my ability to see that happen, especially
mm,
because right now I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy the people I work with. Like, I feel like what I do is valuable, it changes people's lives, and
mm.
like it fuels me more and more to do that.
I'm getting all this like drive and vibe from you. But then what you also said was that in Perth people are like laid back. So you did mention when you first moved, it seemed like the environment is just kind of like you what's the word? You became one with the environment. But then now like you're on your lane. So then how do you stay motivated even though you're in an environment that's not that cultivating, I guess, for that type of mindset?
I think one, it really helps that I am kind of involved in the family business
Okay.
because it is extremely, it's a big business, high speed, lots of stuff happening all the time or growing all the time. So that is
Mm,
one part of it in terms of like, I
mm,
always kind of have that aspect that's like, go, go, go. I
mm.
travel a lot as well. And like
Yeah.
when I do, it's really busy because I have like a couple days to finish everything I need to do. And my mom is a very intense person to work for, right? So that is one aspect. Another aspect I would say is I feel like I finally have the right people in my life.
Mm. I'm happy to hear
Like,
that.
yeah, I feel like currently the people that are in my life and in my like close circle, people I surround
Mm,
myself with and spend the most time with, um, push me towards that. Like, not push me towards achieving more things, but
mm,
push me to kind of become the best version of myself. Like they
version.
truly believe in
Yeah.
who I am and are so
Mm,
proud of who I am that it makes me go like, you know what? Like you're right. Like I can do this and I want to do it because I have that ability within me. And then
mm,
obviously that then becomes the right support as well in your life. I feel like when you have the right support in your life, you really feel like you can do anything.
True.
And that's kind
True.
of how I feel right now, which is really cool.
Mm,
For the first time in my life, I think I feel that way.
mm.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So there's that. Um, and I think as I started, and then kind of like 10 months later, which is now, I've seen the momentum effect of when I put in the work, when I am true to who I am as a practitioner and
Mm,
person, when I
mm,
see lives changed and people benefit from that as well, then that also in turn fuels me to do more.
mm, mm. And would you say like you didn't really have that solid network previously?
No,
Mm,
I wouldn't say like not. I would say I had a really solid network like in other aspects, like I had
yeah.
great friends and
Mm,
stuff, but in this particular like avenue of like I had always been really driven to be like this, and like gym is a big part of my life. Like fitness is a huge part of my life, and all that. I probably say that I don't think I had that. Like I don't think I had the right influence in those spheres. Whereas in
mm,
other spheres, I did have really great people around me. you
mm,
know
mm,
so like I said, like
mm.
a lot of parts of me kind of healed,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
those people played a huge part in that. God played a huge part in that. But then on the other side of things, where kind of like my career path and this and that, I don't feel like I had the right people. But now I
Mm,
feel like I have the right mix of the right people, especially the ones like closest to me.
mm, mm.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Um, I am really big on the concept of transferable learnings. And I'm wondering, like, for you, like, are there any transferable learnings that you've taken from being a chiropractor, but also being a content creator as well? And how have each applied to one another?
Interesting question. In my opinion, being a chiropractor, the most minimum that you have to have as a chiropractor is your skill and knowledge. To me, that is like, in my opinion, that's the bare minimum.
Mm,
Like everyone coming out that claims they're a chiropractor, you should at least have that bare minimum skill.
mm,
Um, but what makes you a good chiropractor is your communication skills
mm,
and the level of care you have for people.
mm,
And
mm,
these two are not necessarily things you're taught. You
mm,
either have
mm,
to learn them or have
mm.
some of it inside of you
It's
innately.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I would say that the same thing applies to other parts of my life, like
Mm,
content creation.
mm,
I need to be a great communicator, but I also have to care
mm,
about what I'm putting out there in the world, about the work that I'm doing.
mm,
And the biggest thing of all of the things is probably authenticity.
mm, mm,
I found that when I stopped trying to be somebody else in practice, like I stopped trying to like be another Cairo or like somebody I look up to, but I need to like copy them or like be more like them. When I stopped doing that, things changed. People stayed, people wanted to be there, people enjoyed coming to see me and they wanted to stay on with my care. And same thing in content, when I stopped trying to like copy somebody else's style or
yeah,
content,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
just kind of like, you know what, I'm just gonna be myself. That's when things blew up as well. So I feel like that. And the crazy thing is that I think growing up, that is the biggest thing I struggled with.
Mm, mm, I
I've
see.
always felt like I'm a chameleon to my environment so that I could please the people around me.
Mm,
It was very hard for me to just be me.
mm,
Because I
mm,
was afraid people would judge me, they won't like me, whatever it was. And I'm still in the learning process of it. Like it's still really tough. Um, but seeing how it's paid off in my life, in business, content, whatever, it's definitely helping me, I guess, with that
mm,
journey of authenticity.
mm.
Yeah.
And in short, just fuck the haters. Get them out of here,
Yeah,
basically.
fuck the haters, man. Like,
Yeah,
screw what you all think. I'm gonna
yeah,
do
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's not that serious.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Who gives a shit about what you type? You're just behind the phone, like whatever.
Honestly, it's true. And like, I mean, if like if you're a person who cares about working on yourself, self-development and on your own growth, your own morals, your own mindset, whatever it is, like the authentic version of you is a good version.
Mm,
Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Like that is a
mm, mm,
great version of you to put forward to the world. So
mm,
it's like if you know that you have that and like you know you're a good person, you know that you're striving to be more, do more, be a better you, then what's not to put out there? Everything else is just people's preferences. Who cares if you don't like the way my eyebrows look or the way my voice sounds? Like sometimes you get the craziest comments, right? And I'm like, ah, who cares?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Or block. Then that's it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah,
like, it's all right, man. My life still
yeah,
goes on.
yeah. That's awesome. And I guess what would you say, or what would you advise to someone who maybe is thinking of starting a business, or maybe even thinking of starting creating content? Like, would you have any wise words to impart?
With creating content, my advice is just do it.
Mm, mm,
Like there's a lot, like obviously I could give practical advice and stuff, but I feel like there is
mm,
a lot of practical advice out there on the internet that is probably going to be
mm,
better than mine. There are creators out there
mm,
that teach you how to edit, how to story
mm,
tell, how to
mm,
all these practical things. They teach you how to do that, right? They teach you how to convert followers. But
mm,
the biggest block to all that stuff is that if you don't have the courage to just say fuck it and do it,
mm,
it's never
mm,
going to
mm.
happen and it doesn't
Yeah,
matter,
yeah.
right? So it's like ask yourself, what are your self-limiting beliefs? If
Mm,
it's
strong.
stemming from a place of like, oh, I don't want to fail, I don't want to embarrass myself, you need to sit down and you need to go, okay, if this is my goal and these
Yeah,
are my fears, do I care
yeah,
more about my fears or do I
yeah,
want to achieve that goal more than that? And if you want to achieve the goal more than you care about what your fears are, then like time to let that go and just
yeah,
do it. If
yeah,
your self-limiting beliefs are I don't have the skill to yada yada yada, then put in
yeah,
the time. Like go
yeah,
learn. You can
yeah,
literally
yeah.
like chat GPT anything, you know? Like just whip your phone out and speak into the camera for like once a day for 10 days,
Mm,
and you'll find you
mm,
just get easier at, like, it just gets easier and you get better at doing it too, you know? It's like, recognize what is stopping you first. Is it
mm,
practical? Is it mental? And
mm,
then how do I get rid of that? And then once you get rid of
mm,
that, just
mm.
start. Like, you never know. You never know what's gonna blow up.
Yeah, I love that. And what about for business, like for anyone's thinking of becoming an entrepreneur?
I think know your strengths.
Mm, that's interesting. Yeah.
Know your strengths,
Mm,
because I think we can all be extremely like fairy tale-y and be like, if you want it, you can do it. Like, you got it, right?
mm, mm,
Which I think is very true to a certain extent, right? But I've also seen a lot of people trying to grasp at like, this is a quick money, like, if I'm an entrepreneur, I'm gonna get rich. That is not true.
mm.
If I'm a business owner, I work less, I'm flexible. Yeah, you're flexible, but you're probably working more.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So, like, if you truly, truly, you're like, you've considered all these things and you're like, I want to start a business, make sure that you actually believe in what you do and you care about what you do. Like, you know your why and you know your what. You know those things first, and then the other things are more practical things that you can learn. And then
Mm,
knowing your strength is important, because you need to know where your time and energy and effort is best placed
mm,
in. Right?
mm, mm,
If you invest your time and energy into what you're actually good at. For example, it's like, I want to start a business and I am shit at numbers, but I'm
mm.
really good at what I do. For example, let's say I don't know, I make art. Okay, random, right? I
Yeah,
make
yeah.
art, but I am shit at numbers. So if I invest my time and energy into making art, I know I'm going to produce the best work I can. But then if I spend all my time and energy trying to work out the finance bit of things, like, that is draining to me and my art is probably going to suffer, for
Mm,
example, right? So I would say, in that way, know your strengths and then try your very best to outsource other things where people can actually help you. Like, you don't have to hire the best accountant out there. You could go online and, find something that works for you. Like, whatever it is, like, simplify the things that you're not good at. Don't like zero in on those things. Focus on what you're good at first. Other things can come later. You can learn other things later on. But if you sort of like tunnel vision the stuff that you're not exactly good at, you actually lose momentum at the start. You lose passion, you lose drive, because you're so disheartened as well. Whereas, like, in the beginning phases of a business, you need to be so in love with that process so you don't burn out quickly. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Obviously, there's a lot of practical stuff with business,
yeah,
but like, in my
yeah,
opinion, like, these things
yeah.
are important.
I love that. Where would you say um are your sources for like learning how to edit, learning how to storytell, but or whatever, but then also like starting a business, etc., or like how to convert leads? Do you have any podcasts that you listen to? Do you have any like, accounts that you follow?
Obviously, I draw inspiration from everywhere. I wouldn't say there is like one place, one
Mm,
person that I jump on, but I try to kind of make my algorithm very educational. So I don't have
mm,
one specific person that I learn from, but I try to consume and interact with like videos that I see that are educational. So like, if I see an editing video pop up, I'll save it, I'll like it, I'll comment for their free resource or whatever. And so over
yeah, yeah,
time, it's like
mm,
my doom scrolling time is more productive because I
yeah,
actually learn more things.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's kind of how I learned to, edit and do stuff. But even then, my content is not very cinematic. Like I said, I'm not a photographer, I'm not a videographer. It's like I said, my focus is usually storytelling, and I just try to then, like I said, focus on your strengths, right? And then I use the editing and stuff to just like support that. Um, and if I don't know how to do something, I search.
Mm,
So that is how I do that. Inspiration wise, I obviously listen to a lot of the big guys, Stephen Bartlett,
good.
Hormozy,
Yeah.
Layla. Layla's probably my favorite. I love
Mm,
what she does and who she is, as a wife and also as a business person. Like, I love
mm,
both sides of her. So
true.
that's someone I listen to. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't say I have like a very specific person. I just
Mm,
try to have a good combination of all those things.
I think people for people to know their strengths, they need to like look really within first. And I think like that's quite if I reflect on this whole conversation so far, your whole journey, it all involves you looking in to figure out, okay, like you reflected and then you took action, and then you're doubling down on what works for you. I had an episode with Chiwi where she mentioned Dingwei, like know
Yeah.
your strengths. Yeah. And I think that really just resonates with like exactly this. So I love that. And yeah, guys, basically that's just take a time to like actually step back, reflect, and then figure out what you like, figure out what you're good at, and then just go full steam ahead. I think that's a good way to live life, in my opinion. But I also need to follow that advice as well. So so yeah.
Yes. But a big part of that, I would say, like, just my last thing, I think one thing I really struggle with is imposter syndrome. And so it's like I knew my strengths, but I was also too afraid to believe it, and I had all these
Mm,
doubts in my mind. And
mm,
it's easier said than done, but that only really holds you back. Like there is
mm,
no benefit to that thought or that like, oh no, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Like it requires true courage to be like, no, actually I can do this and I am good at it.
mm.
To let go of that insecurity is probably harder.
No, that's fair. We are coming to the end of the episode. I love to do this with all my guests. And it's like quick fire round. It never usually becomes quick fire round, but like when I edit it, it'll become quick fire round. Just like 5 questions. I'm gonna
Okay,
hit you kind of on the spot.
I'm nervous.
So let's go with it. Favorite city to visit and why?
Florence.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of
You
course, I
know
should know
this.
that.
I been quite a lot of places in the world,
Mm,
and Florence honestly is such a I don't know what it is about it. It was just so charming and so beautiful, like the slowness of life there, but just the beauty of this place. I walked around that entire city multiple times. I made so many good friends while I was there as well. Like there's just something about this city that I love and adore, and I'd probably go back again and again and again.
mm, mm. Are you planning to go back this year or?
I hope so, but now that I'm a
Yeah.
business owner,
It's fine. Outsource. Literally.
yeah, outsource. We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. Ooh, okay. Spoiler alert. We'll see.
Mhm.
Strong. Favorite movie?
Well, this is hard. So, funny story about me is that I'm very indecisive.
Mm.
Uh, so I like a lot of things. But
Yeah.
off the top of my head, like a movie that I just know that I will enjoy again and again and again and again is probably Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, I need to watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Nice.
really love that movie. I don't know why, but it was just a vibe.
Was it just because of the planes, the adrenaline with us to it, or I don't know. You're
Oh
quite like an
man, it's probably the
adrenaline person.
combination of like grit and drive and like
Ah, yeah.
teamwork and adrenaline, which I love. It was just
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. Yeah.
combination of all those things. It was funny as well. It was like lighthearted enough, but also serious enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
Nice.
it. It's like
Nice.
I love a lot of movies, and I could probably think of like a lot of more like like change my life type movies. But if I could like, I knew that if I watched this movie again and again and again, I'd still love it.
Mm, love that. Favorite food to eat or cuisine?
Cuisine?
Mm,
Oh, Malaysian. Of
okay.
course.
Strong. Strong.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely
any
Malaysian.
specific food in the Malaysian cuisine?
Okay, so obviously grandma's food is my favorite, but I can't just
Yeah.
say that. Okay,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
to, like my like most ultimate like guilty pleasure food I'll never get sick of is probably fried chicken. Like,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Where does laksa rank?
oh, it's pretty
In
high. It's pretty
okay. Okay.
high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say top five.
Nice. Okay. But
Yeah.
can't be fried chicken. Yeah.
No, if I
Okay.
had to pick one for life, it'd be fried chicken.
Dope. Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Favorite song?
Favorite song? I'm gonna have to pass on this one. There's no
Okay.
favorite. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. You're the first person to pass on a question, so I love that. We're
Yeah,
changing gears.
no
Changing gears.
favorite song. I'm not gonna pick.
Yeah. Favorite quote?
Quote.
Yeah. Yours.
There are a lot of quotes out there, I guess.
Mm.
But my most recent and one that I guess I resonate with the most is 1% better every day.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah,
that's strong.
because it's a very short one, but I feel like it applies to a lot of aspects in life. 1%
Mm,
every day, not just in fitness, in work, in business, but in my mental health, in my spiritual walk, in pretty much everything. And we have really big goals all the time, but as long as I know that I'm 1% better today than I was yesterday, I know I'm
mm,
moving in the right direction.
mm. That's strong. That's really good. That's really good. Um, Before we wrap up, I have two final questions to ask you. And first one is, what's the best piece of advice that someone's given you?
The biggest limitation to you is you. I think most times when things are not working in our lives, we tend to look outwardly
Mm,
and search
mm,
for reasons why things are not happening.
mm,
Um, but in reality, a lot of the times, it's actually the opposite. It's actually
mm,
something within you, self limiting
mm,
beliefs,
mm,
laziness,
mm,
fear, whatever it is, right? And we think that the world is the cause of and of course, there are circumstances. There are
sure.
circumstances. I'm not
Mm.
saying everyone and everything, but most of the time, the biggest limit to your life is yourself.
There's an artist I listen to. He's quite like forthcoming about his mental health struggles, and he says like your world starts and ends with you. So it's pretty much like what you said. Like it's
Absolutely.
all in how you view yourself, your beliefs, etc. Yeah, so that's strong. And just to wrap up, like what's next for you, Sheena, in terms of professional, creative side? Like what should the fans, people out there look out for?
In business, things are definitely happening. Expansion is definitely
Whoop, whoop.
coming, which is crazy considering it's only been less than a year. I'm very, very excited for this. I really do want to grow a team this year, and that is like that dream is coming closer and closer. And the potential to then have this like dream space of people working together to create an environment of
Mm,
healing and
mm,
health for people is kind of like closer to fruition than I thought. So
mm,
that is happening. In content, obviously, I told you literally just this last week, I've decided to be more like consistent with it again.
yeah.
Um, and I think, and this is still something I'm working on, but like I said, I want to work on being more authentic with my life. And there's a
Mm.
lot of fears around that, especially with everything that I've been through. And so in this next season, I want to be more real and more honest about where I am, who I am, especially within my content.
That's strong. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
Sheena, thank you so much. I really, really had a blast recording this episode. And I'm gonna put all your links, like I said, in this is gonna go out on like YouTube, Spotify, Apple thingy, whatever. I don't really listen to on Apple, but whoever does, different subsection of people. But
Excited.
yeah, so this is gonna come out very soon. So thank you so much again. I really appreciate
Thank
it. And
you.
hope you guys had a great fun listening to all this. And sorry, how can people reach out to you? If
Obviously, the most active platform would be Instagram. It's at drsheena.cairo on
Mhm,
Instagram. That's my
mhm,
main platform, really.
mhm.
They can find me on Google at covechiropractic.com, which is my clinic site if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, reach out to me at any time, guys.
Book your appointments, guys, because you never know. So yeah,
Yeah, book your appointments. If you're in Perth, come see me.
yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much. Stay tuned for the next one. I will see you soon, and bye.